Oh dear.
Hi, it's me, Agnieszka.
Good thing she was found.
Good thing she was found. Aga, I like being wrong.
I also like it when you're wrong.
How many times have I told you to sell that old junk and buy yourself a new motorcycle?
Oh, I couldn't even truly count.
I have to take these back.
It mobbing at work.
There was mobbing, I admit, but it was quite funny.
Yes.
Hey, your GSX-R is really cool.
I've always said that this particular GSX-R model is truly the best Suzuki GSX-R ever made, in my honest opinion.
How old is he?
11.
2010, but I guess he didn't change at all after that, right?
You know what? He was like K8 to L0 before. It was the same thing. Well, later on there were indeed newer versions, and I honestly don't know if they were truly better.
Anyway, me, Andrzej, and me, Mariusz.
And Mariusz?
And Mariusz, most of all, the fact is, we can still laugh at your fancy stickers on the rims, which are really shining right now. Look how it shines now. Do you see that?
But now they look beautiful. Look how it reflects on the blue one.
Woo! Anyway, we used to joke that you should sell that junk, finally buy yourself a motorcycle instead of investing in it and replacing parts. But I have to admit, after your rebuild, this motorcycle really works. And listen, I'm not making this up because I'm actually an advocate for having a new motorcycle. Since then, I know everything works. But it turns out,
He trusts it because it was also assembled by us, so I didn't fully trust it either.
but congratulations, you assemble motorcycles much better than I do because mine is still in pieces.
We still have to do it for Łukasz.
No, that was a stand-in.
That was a stand-in.
That was a stand-in. Hi, Tomek. Anyway, to sum up, what I had to dummy roll was to test this motorcycle to see if it was assembled properly. But luckily, I managed to get out of it. And Łukasz had to test whether the motorcycle was put together, right? Rufy was testing if the motorcycle was good. Rufy, you know he's favoring himself as a YouTuber? Yeah, I make videos with him. But my primary role later on was to thoroughly check if the stock suspension system, after being meticulously serviced by LTD34 with their specialized 4-ride seals, was indeed working correctly and optimally. Furthermore, I also needed to verify if the brand new 4-ride brake discs, paired with the equally new and effective brake pads, were functioning as intended. What specific kind of pads are these exactly? What precise kind of pads are they? True. Does it work? Today I rode my Panigale 959 Corsa with Orleans.
Say it loud, loud.
And this motorcycle, listen, this is no joke. It was easier for me to ride this motorcycle because the suspension is soft because it's set up for you. How much? A 30 kilo difference. When I rode this one, there's so much grip that it just goes through. But on my Panigale, it's like thud because it's very, very stiff. And as Łukasz Wieczorek said, he was worried that the seals might not be racing ones, not original, that the fork wouldn't work perfectly. But the suspension was really, really precise. Same with the discs. The braking system is Tokiko, and it's just new discs, new pads. For me, the braking power was better than in my Panigale, because my Panigale is still, that's exactly...
That's the cherry on top.
The cherry on top, the cherry on the motorcycle. But seriously, right? That's just how it is, because the braking power is simply okay, because obviously, there are no miracles when it comes to pressure at that moment, for example, when I'm constantly testing bikes with Brembo. But that initial bite was better here than on my Panigale because there's no ABS here, it's just direct. Bam. The power was great, but the modulation, that's what makes a difference. You can really feel the damn brake, right?
I love this master cylinder. It's just perfect, you know, you can adjust it exactly how you want.
Well, we actually ordered it from Ducati Torun, right? As far as I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can safely say that if the 4-ride discs perform well on the track, there's no way they won't handle street use. And remember, they're nicely packaged. This is an advertisement. Anyway, listen, I have to take back what I said. It's worth rebuilding old bikes. Because how much did this motorcycle used to cost?
I think originally I bought it for 10 grand.
For 10 grand?
Yeah, but that was already 4 years ago.
Right. Now, during the last service, there were discs, pads, a battery, a K&N filter, those seals. Okay, so roughly did the whole rebuild operation cost about 5,000 zlotys?
Well, yeah, because earlier I also put in a quick shifter was installed, so that too.
Now you have a task, you need to write it all down, and we have to publish how much rebuilding this motorcycle cost?
But this is already the second time I've been given this task, because people have already messaged me on Instagram, and I think 2 people are building based on the Gixxer and order the same part.
But really,
I'll get in touch next season to see how they like riding it.
for me, it's shocking how amazingly this motorcycle actually rides. It's awesome. Damn, when you give it some gas, those Pirellis you said you feel like they slide. But that's just how Pirellis are. They do slide
But it's only up to a point because you're riding and it kind of,
because those tires are so soft.
you don't really feel like it's gripping, you know, but you just have to notice.
No, because with Pirelli, they let go a little at first and then they grip. Thanks to that, you can slide the bike a bit, but you have to get a feel for it. And for me,
You have to get used to that tire.
yeah.
I think so.
For me, the traction was great. Everything was really nice, honestly. The only thing is you have to reverse the gear shift because having the standard shift pattern is, damn, really crappy. But I'll say, that can't be hard to fix. And the gearing is too long, but still, there was something going on.
And we still have to change the drivetrain, which we haven't done yet, so there will be a chance.
Oh, so maybe there will finally be a chance to make some content about gear ratios because this motorcycle, you know, it's a 600, so you have to keep it at high revs. But if you haven't changed the gearing for the track, you can't have those optimal revs in many places. And that means that on the exit, you either hit the limiter or you catch the limiter on the way out.
Yes, a broader one to make.
And so it's quiet
So you can ride.
because when you give it gas, it spits out the double killers. Well, either way here, so it falls out later. And you get to what? Write all this down in order to drive.
Okay.
Speed day in 2 weeks.
That soon?
Hmm.
All right. I'm very willing. You got the tires. Bye.